So we have Rodrigo, Maria, two others. José Maria. Alors, basically, thank you for coming. So the seminar will be short today because I know that Enrique is very busy. So first of all, Kevin, how are you? Let's talk to the most important person in the audience. Kevin, thanks that we can be Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin is not there. Okay. So how are you? How is everything? Did you have good vacations?
Very good.
Are you fine? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
good.
so basically, so thank you very much for being here. So this webinar is for Kevin students. Basically, so I wanted to introduce you today to Enrique Apelanis, who is Basque and was about 1 year ago here with Kevin preparing the Gmat. Okay. Enrique, where is Enrique? Enrique?
Here I am. Hi.
Yeah. Hello, Enrique. How are you? So, Enrique, can you basically first tell you who you are? Just introduce yourself, like in 2-3 minutes, so that they understand who you are. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, we'll do this briefly. I'm Enrique Pianez. I'm from San Sebastian. I work at Amazon. I've been working here for 2.5 years. Prior to Amazon, I worked as a management consultant at BCG, and I studied mechanical engineering. So, as Hubert was saying, I was a student of Kevin last year, and I prepared for my MBA applications with Hubert over the past year. I mean, it was quite a lot of work, but definitely worth it. So now I'm going to Colombia Business School in New York, starting in August.
Okay, and we are still working on the financial aid part of the application because recently we still work on the outline of the application, Enrique.
Yep.
So basically, at the end, that's something that you explained to us. Probably students wants to know what is available today. Alors, basically, Kevin, do you remember of Enrique? What type of student was he? Hello, Kevin? He left us. Kevin? So what type of student was Enrique in class, Kevin?
Oh, a great student. Much probably better in quant than verbal because of his background, but a very intense student.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely better in quant.
yeah, but at the end he did well. He did well in both. So of course, Enrique. What can we say about Enrique? Super intelligent person, persistent, multi-talented. He knows what he wants. Okay, and maybe not all of you know what you want, but at least Enrique he knows what he wants. It happened to us that we work until midnight. I think that remember Enrique. And also because I have a busy schedule and you have a busy one as well. Remember that when you find the Gmat, you told me that sometimes you are waking up, I don't know, at 6 o'clock. So basically, if Enrique is there, there's a reason. Okay, he has worked for that. Okay, and if you put as much seriousness as him, you will do. All of you will do pretty well. So Enrique, so you have an engineering background. Okay, why have you decided to do an MBA? Because you have worked for a bank. Amazon, you may probably you have a decent salary, you have a great life. Why suddenly have you decided that you wanted to stop working for 2 years, make a lot of debts, and go to America?
Well, I mean, it wasn't an easy one, to be honest, but so I left BCG to work at Amazon, and then a 1.5 years after working at Amazon, I thought, well, I think that I want to do a change in my career. I want to focus more on more entrepreneurial topics related to fintech. Well, probably during the MBA, I'm going to change my idea, but basically what I wanted was a change. I didn't see myself doing a standard career at Amazon or coming back to consulting. So I thought that the MBA was like the perfect opportunity. And yeah, I mean, long story short, that was it.
Okay, so very good. Okay. And why have you chosen Colombia? One among all the schools that you have applied to, and why Colombia, Enrique? Is it for the city? Is it for
So
I don't know why Colombia? Of course, it's a very good school. Colombia is ranked 2 in the last Financial Times ranking, but why not Chicago? Why not Kellogg? Why not MIT?
so so I decided to apply to 5 schools. Is who were I know that you weren't very you disagreed at times with me on my school selection, but I wanted to focus just on 5. So it was Harvard, Stanford, Columbia, MIT, and Wharton.
Mhm.
Um, so I didn't get admitted in all of them, but now backward looking, I think that Columbia was the best one because what I want to focus on is on fintech stock and entrepreneurial stuff. So it was either Stanford or Columbia. But I thought that well, the city of New York being like the world's most important city in terms of finance, they was like the perfect place because of the well, not only the school, it's well top tier school, but also the networking with not only classmates, but there's also a lot of networking with executives from New York, from well the main uh, financial services, well, all finance companies. So that's like the main reasoning behind.
Okay, that's the main reason in
And
time. Alors, basically,
and sorry,
yes, okay,
Hubert,
Enrique, yes,
one
go ahead,
more
yeah.
thing. So I remember that the first thing that I told you when we spoke is that I wanted these 5 because I said that I want to do a change, but I want I'm an ambitious person and I want to do an MBA. I know it's a lot of money, but if I do it, I want to do it in like the best MBA possible. And so there's very good schools in Europe, but also I wanted to know from a different culture and a different way of working. And I think that where the real business is more in the US than in Europe. So I thought, yeah, I want a 2-year MBA, I want the full experience. So let's go for the top schools in the US. So that was it. I think the return on investment is going to come. The numbers of my analysis are there, and well,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
return
yeah.
of investment makes sense.
Because you know and I remember that when I wanted to tease Enrique, I said, "Don't worry, we'll apply to INSEAD." And every time I felt that he felt more motivated when I say, "If you don't get a US MBA, we'll apply to INSEAD." And every time I could feel, even though we are 1,000 kilometers away, I live in Belgium, he lives in Madrid, that he was out of question. So it will make him work even harder. So I found Enrique's weak point, INSEAD. Alors,
Uh,
basically,
Actually, my response was, if I don't get admitted to any of these 5, don't worry, Hubert, I'll apply again next year. I'm not
yeah, yeah,
considering any other school.
okay, yes. So basically, that's something that you have to consider. Alors, as you know, me, I'm a pro-European. If you have a look at, by the way, I always say that when I meet, because I live in Brussels and I work a lot with the European Commission, and I always say my company is called MBA Center, and the colors of MBA Center are the colors of the European flags. And they always laugh at me and they check, and yeah, we have the exact same color of the European flag. So that's the colors of the logo. So, but basically, I agree with you, is that if you study at LBS or Columbia, the price of the MBA will roughly be the same. And it's true that the post-MBA salaries in the US cannot be compared to the post-MBA salaries in Europe. Okay, so that's what Enrique is right. Okay, by the way, I'm publishing an article where we analyze the ROI of the top MBAs, and you see that, of course, Colombia is one of the greatest ROI. So basically, you have to understand that the salary in the US, you know, if you study at, you work for a bank, if you work for a fintech, or if you work for a consulting company, it's 50% higher. Okay, so which means that even though sometimes taxes may be higher, cost of living may be higher in some cities in the US, the part of the money available is still more than in Europe. So Enrique is right. The US market is a more dynamic market. Okay, and also the payoff, the ROI, if you stay in the US, is a better one. Many of my students tell me that after Harvard or Wharton or MIT, they tell me that after three years, the MBA is paid back. If you go to INSEAD, believe me, it will take you more than 3 years to pay it back if you stay in Europe. Alors, basically, do you have any questions? So, for instance, there is Nicolas Calero. Nicolas, you have Nicolas, you have a question for us? Nicolas? Nicolas? I cannot hear you, Nicolas. Hello? I cannot hear you. If you can talk a bit louder. Hello? Nicolas? I cannot hear you. Nicolas? Maybe Claudia. Basically, Kevin, Claudia is your student, and she's based in Cuba. So she started to work on the application with us. So Claudia, she wants to study at NYU, so she wants a US-based MBA, especially in New York for personal reasons. So she's targeting NYU and Colombia. Claudia, what are the questions that you have for Enrique? So I ask you to come. Claudia.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Claudia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, Enrique, you applied for full-time MBA, right?
Sorry, Kevin, I'm going to mute you.
Can you mute yourself, maybe, Kevin? Hello, Kevin. There's someone with not muted. So yes, Claudia, can you please talk? Hello, Claudia.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So my question was, Enrique, you applied for the full-time MBA, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And I have a question because, like you said, you want to focus more on maybe entrepreneur side and fintech, but you mentioned that maybe that's not what you end up doing. And in a situation where I have like 2-3 options in my mind, I know that I need to have clear purpose in order to apply for this top tier universities. And my question is, like, until what extent you need to be like, or need to have expertise in the field that you want to enter to in order to apply, like make your purpose make sense. You know what I mean? Like, until what extent?
I mean,
yeah.
You don't really need to be an expert. The reality is that you are doing an MBA for that. You are doing an MBA to be an expert on that topic, to enter whatever market you want. If you are already an expert, why are you doing an MBA? Just go for it. So yeah, I mean, you need to know what you're talking about, but you don't need to be an expert. I mean,
Basically, that's something that we have already seen together, we have already discussed. In the MBA, you need to have 50-50. So you need to have, you need to show consistency. Of course, you need to show a link between the past, the present, and the future. Okay, but at the same time, to justify the MBA, you need to also make like a quantitative leap. Okay, so basically, you have to go into something that would not be possible without an MBA. Enrique, can you please tell us about the project that you have decided to sell to the MBA program?
Right. Yeah. So the thing is that I believe that. So I talked about fintech and so on, but the reality is that I believe that there's going to be a revolution in DeFi, so decentralized finance, leveraging blockchain to decentralized banking. This idea also came on a discussion with Hubert, so we went deep into the topic. Well, I think that doing an MBA was like the perfect way to really join this revolution, and I focused everything on my application towards that. I am not a topic expert. I believe that there's going to be a revolution there. There's going to be room for building your own company and succeeding in the future in that sector. But I am not an expert.
So he wants to develop an expertise. You see? And don't forget, Claudia, that you have 2 years. So basically, the advantage of a 2-year program is that year one, you will learn, and you can have a summer internship. And then if you like it, you can then make a switch. Okay, that's the advantage of a 2-year program versus the 1-year program. Okay, for instance, what Enrique wants to do would be impossible at INSEAD. Impossible. Okay, given his background, he cannot go to INSEAD for 9 months and say I want to be a blockchain expert. Okay, they would say, okay, what did you learn about blockchain? You had a class about blockchain. Okay, so as there the program is long enough. You have the summer program, so it's long enough to learn more, test yourself, and make a career switch. So in any case, perfectly right. That's the magic of the 2-year program, is that you learn much more, and you have time to try things. When you don't have time, for instance, if for instance you do if you apply to INSEAD, for instance, to the September intake, you have strictly no internship. Okay? You start in September, you finish in May. Okay? With me, you will not make a career switch. So the person who is on Kevin's address, you want to talk? I think it's not Kevin Armstrong, it's someone who is called Kevin Armstrong. So what is the question that you have?
Yes, I have two. Hello, it's Alvaro. I have two questions for Enrique. First, I wanted to know how old are you? And second, if you want to stay in the US after you finish the MBA.
So I'm 27 years old, and well, literally from 20 days ago. And if I want to stay in the US, my initial idea is yes, I want to stay there. I want to build my own company, probably in the US. But the reality is that maybe other factors change my mind. And again, that's the good part of the of let's say the 2-year program. Anyway, don't get me wrong. INSEAD is a top tier university, and definitely it's a good choice if you want to do a 1-year program.
Yeah. Tell me, so there's Alexandra. Alexandra, you have a question for us, Alexandra? Hello? Alexandra? You're on mute, Alexandra, but if you want to talk, if you want to ask a question, Alexandra? Alexandra? By the way, the one who is using Kevin, can you mute yourself? Hello? The one, yes. So Claudia, you want to ask another question, so go ahead, Claudia. Claudia?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you.
I cannot hear you, Claudia. Hello? Claudia, can you talk? I cannot hear you, Claudia. Hello? Claudia?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, if you're on mute,
okay.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, my microphone is not working well. So yeah, my question is, like, especially considering that you have applied during COVID, during which there has been a lot of less interaction, like physical interaction. How have you managed to interact with your dream business schools? Like what type of things have you done in order to let them know you and get to know people that have studied there and kind of have like previous knowledge, like more deep knowledge about the university that is not just what appears online and on websites and webinars?
Yeah. So there's two things here. Sorry. So first one on how the universities got to know me. I know it's not best practice, but I didn't join the university like online events that they do, like, so that they get to know you. I recommend you do that. I didn't anyway, so they got to know me through my applications, which, trust me, it's not just put your CV and apply. I mean, it will require a lot of work, like a lot. And then how I got to know about the universities from like myself is about it was on all about networking. Um, I had liked it working at BCG. There's a lot of people that have done an MBA. I know people from McKinsey, and well, also in Amazon, there's a lot of people that have done an MBA. So I just texted them, "Hey, so I saw that you've done an MBA at Harvard. Can we have a call and let me know what you think about university and uh, why you chose Harvard over any other university or whatever." I mean, I was a pain for my friends asking them about the universities.
Okay. Rodrigo, you have questions. What is your question, Rodrigo?
Hello, good evening.
evening.
Yes, Enrique, I have read that attending to events such as virtual chats or one-to-one with current students, it's a good way to engage with the university. Did you attend to these events during your admission process? If it is, how many?
No,
Yeah, not at all. Huh? Yes,
no, I didn't.
it's not what you should do, by the way. Huh? It's not what you should do. You agree? Yes.
I only talk to my network and friends and friends of my friends. That's it.
Because I think Colombia measures this engage. Is it correct?
But no, no,
I don't know.
but no.
Okay.
I'll have to ask that, but I don't know. The best way is to ask someone who is in Colombia or is in the Colombia, let's say, interviewers pool.
Okay.
So basically, what I want to tell you, Rodrigo, is that no, what school will consider is they will consider your profile and your application. Okay, that's what they consider. Okay. Now, of course, if you can develop a network, but you have to see that you're not the first one who wants to develop a network, wants to talk to the school representative, and have many students who have been accepted in top schools without having interacted with the school. Okay. Now it happens that you have to do so, for instance, if you're on a wait list. They have like 1 or 2 students who are on the wait list, so they have decided to fly to the US, maybe to see if they can meet the admission officer. But it's true that schools are also very worried to not advantage students over others, okay? I have some examples, for instance, of students who have traveled in the US, who have attended a presentation, and who try to talk to the admission officer, and the admission officer said, no, there was one presentation, I don't want more interaction, because they don't want to favor people who can afford traveling in the US to meet an admission officers over students who cannot afford. So that's some type of thing that they don't really favor. Okay, and as you know, for Enrique, it was difficult to meet also face to face because all events, all major events have been cancelled. So they understand that. Well, and anyway, Enrique applied with the 740. He had very good credentials and a very good application, so they know that he's motivated.
Just one thing that they just remember that they really measure in Colombia is which is not the case in other universities. The sooner you apply to Colombia, the better. I mean, it really makes a difference.
Enrique, in which round did you apply?
In early decision.
Okay.
But late in early decision. So I applied in September and they open in June. So I wouldn't recommend applying in September.
It's true that Colombia is a school that favors students who apply early. Yeah. And at the same time, yes, they also have something called early decision. So can you explain, Enrique, what is early decision?
Yeah, so early decision is basically that, well, the name says it. It's that they do an ongoing decision. So you apply, and in 2-3 weeks time, you have feedback. So if you apply in June, like by second, third week of July, you have a decision on interview. But the thing is that you need to be sure that that's your first option, because I mean, if you apply on early decision, it means that Colombia is your first option, and it's going to be the one that you're going to accept if you get accepted.
So you understand what it is? So I mean, basically, early decision is that you say, you apply early and you say, if ever I get accepted to Colombia, I will accept Colombia. Okay? And
Well,
it's true
I mean,
that thanks to that, it allows people, it makes you think easier. You remember, Kevin, the student Guzman? Remember? I remember that I had 2 students who have applied early decision, and I told him, please apply to Colombia early decision, and he refused. He applied the day after. Okay, and I had 2 who applied to Colombia early decision. Okay, they got in, and he applied later on, and he got did not even he got an interview, but he did not get in. So if Colombia is your dream school, basically apply to Colombia early decision. It will increase your chance of getting in by probably 30%. Okay. Anyone else has a question? Anyone else?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yeah, Claudia.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You mentioned, Enrique, I think I heard that you were accepted in I don't know if 2 or 3 universities. Like, how did you make the decision of choosing Colombia and why?
well, so for the what I said about DeFi and what I was looking for, I think it was one of my main decision. Well, my main priorities. Then there were other factors such as I didn't go into Stanford. Second one, the city of New York. So my idea is to go with my girlfriend. My girlfriend preferred New York, and because it was easier for her work. And yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you need to know what you want to do. And you need to really understand what's like the type of teaching method of each university and what do you really want. If you are a person that likes to go to class and have a very rigorous study program, be working all the time on the MBA, so not that much on class, but working like doing outside of class work assignments and so on, maybe Harvard is your choice. I don't know. I mean, you have to deep dive with your network on the universities. But for me, it was the one that suited better my plan for like my post MBA plan. Second, the city, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. And have you applied for any scholarships? And if so, how has been the process?
Yes, so basically that's another question. So yes,
Okay.
What about the financing and the scholarships, Enrique? Tell us more about this. Right.
Yeah. So there's many. Well, I would say many, but in Spain there are some foundations that can give you some support. I don't know yet if I'm going to receive a scholarship, but also universities can give you some scholarships. So, for example, Colombia can give up to 30K per year of scholarship. So yeah, what I'm doing is just I requested all the scholarships that I could, and I'm just waiting for feedback on.
Have you received anything, by the way? Because we
No,
have worked on the scholarship. Nothing.
No, not yet.
Colombia gave you something. Colombia, they
It's-
give you some type of scholarship. They didn't
No,
give you
I'd
anything.
so I'm expecting a response in April.
Usually, see, I think you should get like 20-30% off probably. Okay, and the rest, okay, it's your investment. By the way, I want to explain to you how it works. Okay, so that you understand better. Okay, so imagine that an MBA costs. If you imagine that you as a foreign year, you will all get 20-30% scholarship. Okay, so it means that you're going to pay the MBA is going to pay 120,000 US dollar. Okay, maximum. Okay, because they give you a scholarship anyway. Out of that, so that's the expense, and out of that, imagine that you need to live 21 months there, So you're going to spend easily $180,000. Okay, so that's what you have budgeted, Enrique, because they will give you 20-30%. They give that to anybody. Okay, so is it what you have budgeted, Enrique? $180,000, roughly that.
Yep.
Yeah, but you'll be in New York. And then you can expect. So what can you expect to do? You're going to have an internship. Probably during the internship, they pay you extra. Usually they give you an extra $15,000 because the internship is super well paid. Okay, imagine that you can make an extra $15,000. Usually the extra money that they give it directly to the university so that it is not taxed. Okay, then you can expect a signing bonus between $30,000 to $40,000. Okay, so it means that in reality it's going to cost him $130,000 to $135,000. Okay, which is roughly the price of INSEAD. Okay, and INSEAD, it's impossible to get any type of scholarship. I can imagine that Enrique, being a bright guy, you will probably get an assistantship on your two. Okay, so they will give him another $2,000. Okay, so it means that
Excuse me.
Sorry. And
Yeah, sorry,
you too,
Dr.
Claudia.
Hubert.
They will give you an assistantship, which means that you come to $115,000. Okay, so that's basically what's going to cost you. Julie students, they come with $30,000-$70,000 from their saving or from a loan. Okay, so it means that it's already something that you're going to put forward. So you left honestly with maximum $80,000 debt. Okay, and that's something that after 1 or 2 years you can pay back. That's why if you study in the US, you have to stay in the US for some time. The big thing, the big problem, was the problem, for instance, that many Indians have, during the Trump era. I don't know if you remember, were kicked out from the US. There is no right to stay, and of course, if you get a salary in rupee and you have to reimburse a US MBA, it's a real issue. Okay, so that's something that you have to consider. But you're not that much in debt. Okay, and if you have what I mentioned between the signing bonus that is very common in the US, the summer internship, the assistantship that is given quite regularly, Colombia costs you less than in SEAD, and then the post MBA salary is higher. In the US, it's easy to make money. In Europe, it's difficult. I don't know if you all know. Me, for instance, last Friday I was in London. I met investors. They asked you want $5 or you want $10 million. In Europe, when I asked my bank to be in the red of $1,000, they have to sign many papers. I have to put my house as a collateral. Okay, so we're talking of something different. In the US, to have $100,000 debt, it's nothing. Okay, we're not talking of the same thing. Basically, Enrique, because the show is recorded from Kazakhstan today. Tell me, so what are the piece of advice that you give to Kevin students who are here today and who are going to probably apply this summer for top MBA programs? So what would you want to advise them?
Try to have a very good Gmat first. It's important. I mean, it's one thing that is important, but it's not a golden ticket to your university. It's just a must that you need if you are applying to top tier schools. Try to have it early because the application is going to take you way more than you think. Whatever you plan to that your application is going to take, just calculate twice or 3 times the time. My recommendation for a good Gmat is try to work every day a couple hours on your Gmat. So if you don't have time, try 1 hour one day. So what I did is I tried to go 1 hour or half an hour early to work, do some examples, then another half an hour, 1 hour of study after work, when I was confident with my skills, I did tests every week. I reviewed them on a weekly basis with Kevin. And right before the exam, I did a lot of tests on a daily. Literally, I did a test a day. It's not. Maybe it's not needed. I found it super useful. And yeah, and take a rest day before the exam. But it's key to have like an everyday study, like a couple hours. If you take the habit, it's not that bad.
I remember
And
you,
once you
Kevin,
finish
that
it,
used to wake up very early. Huh? Used to wake up at what, 5 o'clock? I don't know how you manage and study for
Me.
1 or 2 hours. No, I remember that you were waking very early. No.
yeah, I try to wake up at 6 a.m. But yeah, that's because I decided to study my GMAT on the perfect timing at work. I had a lot of work, so yeah. So that combined with studying with the GMAT wasn't, let's say, ideal. But yeah, just try to find a couple hours every day. And then what I said is like super key. It's going to take you way more time than you think to prepare your applications.
Yeah, but you at the same time, because Enrique is a perfectionist. But and you're right at the same time. So you understand, Claudia, when I told you, yeah, and that's why you're all with Kevin today. But it's also very important. And every time I talk to Kevin's student, I know that Kevin is not very happy when I mentioned that, but I say, okay, you're allowed to get extra support from Kevin, use them. You have at the Gmat classes, you have he gives you a test, mock test, and he offers you to correct them with you. Do that, okay? And please don't. I'm talking to many students, and they have the exam in 2 weeks, and they have not even taken a test. Don't do that. I need to. With Kevin, you decide to take like GMAT test like six weeks before the test day, and two weeks before you did 1 test per day. That's the path to success. And of course, what happens is that Enrique is an engineer, so he has very strong intellectual and quantitative skills, and it's not the case of all of you here. So you have to work even harder. Huh? Okay.
Yes, one more thing on what you said, Hubert. It's very, very important. So put a lot of focus when doing the exam, but put a lot of focus when reviewing the exam. So what Kevin told you this, but when you're going to review the exam, don't check the answers. Just kind of like go through the exam again as if you were doing it again, and take notes, a lot of notes, so that you can review it later on with Kevin. And that's going to be where you're going to really make the difference. When reviewing the exam, you're going to see where you fail more and where you need to focus your efforts when studying.
Yeah, you agree? So basically, thank you very much, Enrique. Huh? It's always a pleasure to talk to you. So how is the ski season going? Good?
So it's ending. So I'm sad. I'm sad about that. But
it's done now. No more snow.
No. I still have until like 17th or 18th of April. So
okay. So, yeah, it's ending in 3 weeks. Well, thank you very much, Enrique. Anyway,
thanks a lot.
Stay in contact with you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. So we'll be the next Enrique and Claudia. I give you the strategy. You know what to do. For the others, Maria will contact you. I will be in Madrid Sunday and Monday for one-on-ones, and I will be happy to help you. Last year, we got about 20 students accepted to INSEAD, LBS, Yale, NYU, Colombia, Chicago, Wharton, etc. from Kevin's place. Kevin's recommend MBA Center, as we recommend Kevin. This year, I expect to have 30, 40 probably. I'm sure that we'll have very good results. Okay, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll talk to you this Sunday. Maria will contact you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you, Kevin.
All the best.
And thank you very much,
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.